Life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. You've tuned in to ALH Broadcasting, and this is Andrea L. Hines, your host for When Life Speaks. I'm glad you accepted the invitation to connect with us as we share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it's a blessing to your life, it just may be for someone else as well. So tag, share, invite someone, then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to When Life Speaks. You have tuned into ALH Broadcasting, and I am your host, Andrea L. Hines. And let me tell you something. I am excited about this program tonight. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest on, and he's a powerful, powerful young man, phenomenal artist, and he is going to share his testimony of triumph. We're going to talk a little bit about his work in ministry, and we're going to talk about his music. So let me bring you up to date on what's been happening here on When Life Speaks. If you've been following us, we've been doing a series on the art of aging. And we've been talking about the fact that if you are blessed, when you open your eyes every day, guess what? You're going to be getting older. You will be getting older. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be at a place of saying, this isn't what I want to do. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the way things are happening for me. But I tell you, aging is a gift. And there is a way to maneuver and navigate through this thing called life in a way that will just bring you joy, bring you peace, and allow you to share the wisdom of the ages with other people. So we've been talking about some things. We've talked about technology. We've talked about faith. We've talked about feelings. We have talked about communication. We've covered a lot of territory, actually, in the last few weeks. But we've got something coming up. We're taking a break from our series tonight because this is a very special individual that we have with us. And there's some things time-wise that we want to make sure are in sync with him and the things that he is doing. But when we come back, let me tell you, we're going to be talking about love later in life. Woo-hoo. Yep, we said it. We said it. There's seniors out there who are getting married, who are on the dating sites, who are enjoying life, who have decided that they are going to love again. One of our guests is one who rekindled a romance, and I can't even say a romance because it is something that a person that she discovered when she was very, very young, and their lives took different paths, but they came back together. And then I have someone else who found their love on a dating site. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about getting older and being on dating sites? Because dating is definitely different now than it was when we were coming along. So we've got some interesting things that are happening. And then I have a program with a daughter, a daughter who is coming on, and she's going to talk about how she felt and how she maneuvered as her parents got older. So we've got some exciting things coming up, and I'm just glad that we had the opportunity to be with this young man this evening, that he could make time in his schedule to be with us. So let me tell you a little bit about him. I'm going to read a little bit of his bio to you. It says that he is a Christian hip hop artist, artist. He's a poet. He's a licensed minister from Frankfort, Kentucky, with a mission rooted in faith, healing, and unity. Lou Bennett blends lyricism, testimony, and purpose to reach hearts through music and through ministry. His experiences with trauma and redemption fuel a powerful message that uplifts the broken and brings people together. He wishes to touch broken individuals whose part whose paths, may not have ever crossed. Lou realized that sharing your story and testimony is what people need to hear. And I am so, so happy that he decided to come on When Life Speaks and share with us. We're going to be talking a little bit about his testimony. We're going to be talking about his ministry, and we're going to be talking about his music. So, right now, I want you to welcome Lou Bennett. I am my okay, there you are. I was telling you earlier that my system had crashed, and when it crashed, I'm on a new device tonight. So we may have a little glitch here and there, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through. Lou, thank you so much for being here tonight. I am so happy that you're here, and I am so blessed to be able to be a part of your phenomenal journey, because it is a phenomenal journey. And I am so glad and just welcome you to this platform tonight so that you can share with us. Now, I talked a little bit about your bio that I have, but I want you to tell us a little bit more about you personally, about your family, and about just some of the things in your life so we can get to know you better.
Yes, no, absolutely. And thank you for having me. Honored to be here. Um, yeah, so a little bit about my personal life. So, as you mentioned, I did grow up in Frankfort, Kentucky. And so my father's a pastor. Let's see, my parents are divorced and both remarried, amicably. And so that's a beautiful situation. Um, and so let's see, I have a brother, I have a sister, and then I have several step siblings. I view them the same, but just to understand the family dichotomy there, I have a two stepsisters through my stepfather, then I have a stepbrother through my stepmother and my father. So that's kind of how the family tree is set up, the immediate family tree. Um, got a lot of cousins on both sides, all that good stuff. And so, that's pretty much about my family. Let's see, I split time growing up. So I grew up in Frankfurt, but I was in Lexington a lot. And Lexington's actually where I was born. And so I primarily spent majority of my time during the week in Frankfurt. My mom would come down, spend time with us from time to time. But on weekends, I would typically go to Lexington, and then my mom would get up at the crack of dawn on Monday mornings so that we could spend as much time together as possible, and then take me to school Monday mornings.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
she would make that sacrifice. So that's one of my fondest memories, honestly, about how we navigated that situation. Like I said, like they made it a very loving situation for me, and so I commend my parents. I'm very blessed to have the parents and my additional parents. They both remarried to some great people as well. So I talk about these types of themes in my music as well, because that's a form of ministry in itself. Things aren't always going to be perfect, but how you respond is just as important as, how you initially handle whatever happened in the first place. So
That's true. That is true. And you are married, right?
I am married. Yes.
And
So
you have a son?
I do have a son. Yes. Happily married for it'd be 7 years in September. I do have a son, Caden. He'll be 2 in May.
Oh,
Yes, he's big, big boy.
very good. Very good. Very good. Well, I'm going to dive right in. I want us to dive right in. There's so much. When I look at your bio and hear and see the things that you've done, there are just so many things that we could talk about. But tonight, I want us to focus on on as much as we can on the three facets of Lou Bennett. And we're going to start with your testimony. So tell us what happened, and share what you're comfortable sharing, because I know you said that you understand the importance of the testimony and how it could help someone else. So the floor is yours, and just go ahead and share as you choose.
Okay, yes, yes. So let's see. So I kind of told you already about my childhood testimony, and overcoming. Of course, as a little kid, my parents they did split up when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and so you know there was some long nights of crying and things like that, and just feeling like, man, I just want my parents in the same house. I don't have to split time, things of that nature. But God's hand was still there with us, and helping us navigate that. So very fortunate, for sure. And so fast forward, so I actually stopped doing music when I graduated high school. Um, it turned out to just be a hiatus, but at the time I thought, this is it. I'm just going to focus on obtaining my degree. And actually I have 3 degrees now, but I'm done with school, so don't ask if I'm going back. um, uh, let's see. But yeah, so I thought that, I was done with music. I was just gonna, follow my father's footsteps. He works for the state. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give me a great job, has some great benefits. He also has a duplex that he owns. So, my father's multifaceted in his investment and financial portfolio. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna follow my dad's footsteps and do my thing this way. But God had other plans. And he used what happened to me in college, was a girl that I was dating at the time. She encountered a lot of challenges with her mental health, and so there was a time when things took a turn, and um, she encountered some intense, like suicidal ideations. Um, and so thankfully, I was notified when there was a time where things took a turn, and I was notified. So a friend of mine and myself, we were able to, go to her house, and I had a key, so I was able to get in, and we were able to, get, the not the authorities, but the ambulance and things there, get her to the hospital, um, and it was intense. She had already uh, taken some medication, unfortunately, and so the process has started, and so. If God had not allowed her brother to give me a call at the perfect time, she may not still be here.
Mm.
So I'm very grateful for that. That we were able to, help be there and support her in that moment. And so it didn't immediately get better. It took some time, quite a bit of time. Just the dynamic between us was not necessarily healthy. And so because of that, um, it transferred to me. And so I, began feeling like, I had failed her. I had, failed God. I was, just transparently, I had been baptized. We went to church together. She ended up getting baptized as well, which was beautiful. But our lifestyle was definitely worldly. And so this is when like major convictions set in. And so I started feeling like, okay, God, like, is this you punishing me? Is this all my fault? Because I know I was raised in the church, and I was, my father always told me right from wrong, according to the standards you have for us. And so, I was just really feeling like I didn't want to be here anymore either. I'm like, man, like, she's not happy with me, even though I did my best to be there for her in this moment. I feel like you're not happy with me, God. So I just really don't know where to go from here. And so, that it started out depression, then it led into suicidal ideations of my own. And so, you know, people, my coworkers and colleagues are noticing, friends, it was really intense. There's no way to sugarcoat it. And so honestly, Christ saved my life.
Amen.
Yes. At my darkest hour, after this happened, and it continued for quite some time, like, at least a month. It was a period of time. My faith is what helped me shake back. And in addition to my faith, God used music as he brought me back into prayer. He brought me back into, getting back into the church. I actually ended up rededicating my life and getting baptized again. But this time I focused more on the internal and walking with God, and not just, serving him with the fruit of my lips, but also serving him with the fruit of my spirit. And so, um, my best friend, one of my best friends, he ended up getting back into producing, and he had taken a hiatus from producing. So this is how God works. So he had taken a hiatus from producing, and then in this time, when I am, you know, still lost, but trying to get back right and strengthen my relationship with God more than I ever had before. My girlfriend at the time, we had taken some time apart just to, because like I said, things had gotten out of hand. And so with my best friend getting back into making beats, he was like, man, like, whenever you freestyle and we're just kicking it and stuff, like, man, the stuff you be kicking and be hard, man. Like, you need to, do something with that. Like, come on, like, rap on some of my beats. And so I was like, nah, bro, like, I'm not rapping. Like, all this was my final semester of senior year. Put in
Okay.
perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm about to graduate. And then my boy is like, yeah, bro, like, let's rap, like, get back into rap. And I'm like, bro, you tripping. Like, I'm not about to start rapping. Like, I'm about to graduate hospitality management. I finally found something worth studying at school that I'm passionate about. I'm about to own a hotel. I'm cool. Uh, and he just wouldn't leave it alone, man. Like, one day we was getting food at Chick-fil-A in the line, and he kept asking me about, he's like, bro, you all right? Like, I think you need to, let some stuff out. Like, come on, man. Like, let's go to the studio after this. I'm like, bro, like, I need you to stop, bro. Like, leave it alone. Like, you bother me. And he was like, oh man, it's like that. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to help you. And so that's when things kind of took a turn. I was like, okay, God, that night, like, I was sitting by myself. I'm like, okay, so obviously maybe there is something here, because he's not leaving it alone. I'm like, are you using him? Are you trying to tell me something, like, through my friend? And so I was like, okay, I got nothing to lose. So I called him up, and we ended up, I went up going over his house, and we worked on some music, and we started doing listening parties where we had people come over. After a couple of weeks of working on music, we had people come over. We previewed some different songs and things, and people were feeling it. Of course, it wasn't on the caliber, sonically and artistically, of what I'm producing now and making now, but the anointing and the initial spark of talent and creativity was still there, and people, God was affirming that through the reactions from people. And so I just began rapping about what I've been going through,
Hmm.
and how I wanted to inspire other people that a relationship with God is key. It really is. It's not just some jargon. It can feel like that, when you don't really understand for yourself and experience it. Once you experience it, you're never the same, man.
Yeah.
Uh, I called my dad up after all this. I was like, Pops, I was like, I get it. No, I get it. Like it hits different when everything you've heard about, everything you've read about, you see it. You know, when you see John 3:16 live, that he'll never, leave you nor forsake you. When you see that, you know, it's just when you see that he's not gonna allow you to perish,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just mind blowing, honestly. It really is. And when you see that nothing can separate you from God's love,
Amen.
it is just wow. So that's how I ended up hearing music, man. God saved
Yeah.
my life, and he gave me a microphone to talk about it, and I
Yeah.
ain't stopped,
Amen. Yeah.
since. So
Yeah, yeah. I want to ask you something during the time that you were going through all of this and before, I'll put it this way, I'll say before rediscovering the goodness of God, did you seek help anywhere else? Did you have anyone to talk to or to help you understand what was going on or how to handle it and how to maneuver it?
honestly, not at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, not at the time. I didn't seek professional counseling and therapy until later on. Uh,
Okay.
I kind of just leaned on my support system. Of course, my dad and my friend. I would talk to him. In the midst of us making music and stuff. And yeah, um, and so that's kind of how that came about. Um, I Yeah, and
Would
that
you say
came later, but it wasn't an immediate thing. It came years later, honestly. So
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay. When it seems like, well, I'll put it this way, the it seems like the music kind of brought you back into ministry as opposed to the ministry opening up the doors for music. Would that be accurate?
Yes, it's absolutely accurate.
Okay.
That's honestly why. Remember, you asked me how when you were working on the flyer. I know we had technical difficulties. You were like, do you want me to list you as minister, reverend? And I was like,
Yeah.
no. Honestly, I want you to list me as Lou Bennett because honestly, the primary ministry God has called me to is a Christian rapper. And so I want people to, take that away from you. He's a Christian rapper. He's also a licensed minister, youth Bible teacher, poet, all the things, but that is what God has called me to. And I just want that to be, at the forefront. So
We talked about something else too right before coming on the show, and the audience knows that we had been talking about it um, before it happened, and I want you to let everybody know what was so special about this past Sunday,
uh,
because you were at Dame's Chicken and Waffles, and you had an event there, and it is when you say Christian rapper or Christian hip hop artist, there's whatever comes to mind in terms of people hearing that. But one thing that I hear about you consistently when people have heard you is the fact that you can engage your audience, that you have a gift to be able to gauge your audience because you are not always in uh, a church or a Christian environment, or it's not just the saints coming out. It's a lot of people who need Jesus, and some who know him and some who don't. But how do you manage uh, to unlock that engagement and be able to just have people vibing with you who may not know the Lord?
mm. Yeah, so I think it comes down to what Paul said when he said to reach those under law. I became like one under law to reach the Jews. I became like a Jew. And he said, I did these things so that at all costs to be things of all people, all things, all people, I might save some. And so I think it comes down to how that's applicable is you got to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a certain level of mastery of your craft that when God calls you to something, you still got to put in the work. I think a lot of times Christians, we will say, oh, I'm called to this. And then we'll put in a minimal amount of work and expect maximal results and outcome. And it's like, nah, man. So it's like I really study the greats and how to engage people. Michael Jackson, J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Like I study the greats, Chance the Rapper, Beyonce. Like I study the greats, and although my message, what I'm saying differs from them, the mechanics are still there. And so I study their mechanics. I study how they're engaging their audiences because when I'm out in the world, these are the people they're listening to. This is what they're accustomed to when they go to concerts. So I don't want it to be a drastic difference where they're like, oh, yeah, see that Christian rapper. I mean, yeah, he's talking about Jesus, but it was so different. No, like I want it to be packaged in a way that it's like, man, like, dude, like that was a dope concert. He happened to be talking about Jesus, but it was a dope concert. And then you're going to go check out my music because you're like, dude's actually dope. Then the message is going to set in. Then you're going to follow me. And on my social media, I ain't watering down nothing. I'll be preaching. You know what I'm saying? So then, this is it's a process. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think too often we try to just make it happen all simultaneously, instantly. And so, I don't water down who I am. God has blessed me with a charismatic personality. And so I let that shine and I talk to people, you know what I'm saying? I'm dapping people up when I'm performing. I am, I'm really being myself. I'm joking around. I'm not trying to be extra churchy to make sure that they encounter the Lord. I pray before I do anything, before I write music, before I perform, before I minister, etc. I pray that, everything that is done, everything said, that the Lord, I pray that, Lord, you will be honored, that you will use me, that you will remove me, and, just the Holy Spirit will shine, but that you will still allow me to be myself. And when I say remove me, I mean take off the ego, the pride, because it's not about being the coldest, performance they've ever seen in their life. If that happens, great. But I just want them to be so engaged that they really listen to what I'm saying. So
That's great. That's great. And I thought about it and I said, it's wonderful that you are able to do that in a way that they are not, and they may not even be aware of it, but it's not just a matter of witnessing a performance, but it is becoming a part of an experience that they won't forget. That they, that something will tap into their heart, and they can carry it with them, even though they may not understand all that comes with that, and all that is displayed to be. Um, you had some news. I'm trying. I'm trying not to say what say what it is, but there was some news on Sunday, and share with us what that news was.
the news.
Uh-huh.
I'm really trying to remember. You got me stunned. Wait. No.
Your album.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. All right. I was like, okay, is that what she's talking about? Okay. All right. I'm back. We're here. Okay. So yes, my album, Pray for the Lions. I, as part of a unique rollout this time around, because I am an independent artist, I'm not signed to a label. I have put my album on this platform called Hitmaker, so it's actually available now early. And so you can purchase it on this platform called Hitmaker, and I get 80% of the proceeds, as opposed to you purchasing it on iTunes, where I get a much smaller portion. And then streaming is even less than that, purchasing on iTunes. And so it's on Hitmaker. It's a pay what you want model. And so it starts at $15. I had somebody bless me and so $100 so that they can hear my album early and just bless me. And so I reach out individually and thank people because people don't have to do that kind of stuff, and so I don't take that for granted. I also have shirts. That's what I'm wearing currently. These are the Pray for the Lions shirts, so they're available as well. All this is accessible at the link in my bio. And so the album will of course be on streaming at a later date. I'm not going to announce that right now. Just make sure you follow me on social media. I will announce it, but for now, I would appreciate your support. $15. Hey, sacrifice your Starbucks for a week. That's 3 coffees. 2 coffees. Just support your boy and pour into somebody who's really using his gifts to impact and reach the world for the kingdom. So
Awesome. We were looking at the dates and everything, and we were trying to coordinate when this was going to happen, along with the performances. You had so much going on, but I'm glad about that. I'm happy for you for that. And I appreciate all of those who have come on tonight. Victoria, thank you for being with us. Marsha Marcellus is on the line. Zerlina, thank you for being here tonight. Nikayeta is in the house. A friend of yours, I think Marvin Brooks, is in the house tonight.
yes,
So we've got some folks coming in, and I tell you, I just want Francina Booker is also in the house, and thank her for being here as well. Um, I want to say this before we get too far. Support.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be into rap. You may not. That just may not be your thing. But we have to change our mindset sometimes in terms of where we will put our support. If you are not into rap, support anyway. Listen, get it for somebody else. If you don't want to have it yourself, I know you've got, and I want to talk about what you've got coming up, Lou, because there's something I believe on your calendar coming up in May. But it is very, very important. We have got gifted young people out here. We have got people who believe in the Lord, who are using the gifts and talents that they have to share the gospel and share their testimonies and their stories along with that. And we're always saying, I want to be a blessing. I want to bless somebody. Well, guess what? We have an opportunity for you right here tonight.
Hey, glory.
That you can go to Hitmaker.
I pay my tithes. I give back to the community. I promise.
That's it, man. Be sure that you are supporting him. And I do it every chance I get and any time that I can, to have people on the show who are making a difference. And they're making a difference in ways that you may not recognize, you may not realize, you may not know that they're even out there doing what they do. But tonight, Lou Bennett. Tonight, you have met someone who is trying to live a life before us, and I say us, that exemplifies the light and love of Christ. Support that. You got to support that. We are so busy on the negative end, and we spend so much time talking about what is not right and what should be that isn't, and giving our opinions on things. And this is a platform where I'm glad that I can bring people before you that you may not get to know in any other circumstance, and they can tell you what they're doing and how they're doing it. Lou, I so appreciate you. We're not going to wrap up just yet, because I want you to tell them about your ministry, which is your website is called realbagministries.com. And I want you to explain to the people why that name and what that means to you.
Yes. So if you go on my website on the homepage, you will see the foundation for Real Bag. And so it's based on Mark 8:36. What does it profit a man to gain the world, forfeit his soul? And of course, by man, it's referring to humankind. So, that's interchangeable. What does it profit us as human beings to gain the world and forfeit our soul? And so God spoke that very loudly to me when I got back into music. And I prayed when he spoke that to me. I was like, Lord, please don't take me to the pinnacle to where you want me to be with music and this ministry that you've given me until I'm mature enough and ready and prepared to handle it, because I don't want to squander it away. I don't want my immaturity to cause me to fumble the opportunities or the platform. I don't want to be too haughty and think higher of myself than I ought to. I don't want to be, having thoughts of, ladies that are like coming at me, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, we're all human. So I'm like, Lord, I want you to prune me, and I want you to clean my heart of anything that doesn't need to be there, so that whenever I'm where you want me to be, I am an example that you would, want me to be. Of course, being Christ-like, not trying to be Jesus. I don't, you follow me on social media, but you're following me because I'm going to help you get closer to Christ. That's it. I'm not the end all be all. Okay. That's not the end game. Follow me. But yeah. So Real Bag, that is the basis behind it, is that, of course, music can be a very lucrative industry, entertainment in general. And so it's important to never forget to keep the main thing the main thing. And so that's where Real Bag comes from. It's, we're not just securing the bag, yeah, I get paid
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm at a place where, people are paying me, as I deserve to be paid. I spend a lot of money to make the music in the studio and stuff. But I, traveling all that, but also we're securing the Real Bag, which is our soul salvation, a firm foundation, and peace of mind. So
And
that's,
peace of mind. And
yes.
peace of mind. Whew, I love it. I love it. I want to say I don't know whether I gave a shout out to Nikayeta. Nikayeta is up in the New York area, and Angie O is in South Carolina. Thank you, Angie, for being on tonight. Look, spread the word. Spread the word. Get online, talk to somebody, and we will be replaying this program on Saturday at noon. So if you know anybody who wants to be a blessing, if you know anybody who is into music and into the hip hop vibe, be sure that you share this program, that you get them online on Saturday, so that they can hear more about and know more about Lou Bennett. It is a name that you are going to want to remember. And Lou, I've got one other thing that I want to ask you tonight. Um, Word on the street has it that you are an 11 out of 10. 11 out of 10. Tell us what that means.
Uh, okay. I know who told you that too. That's funny. There's got to be somebody on my team. So, oh man, okay. I feel like Aisha told you that, didn't she?
I'm not giving up my source. I'm not giving up my source.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. My wife and I, and then Aisha and Chris. Aisha is my booking agent, and Chris Bailey is my videographer. Shout out to them. Love y'all, man. But anyways, we all went down to Nashville for a Christian artist conference called The Objective. And so I had the opportunity there to, before my latest two singles were even released, to preview those there and get critiques from a panel of industry executives. And one of them happened to be live music producer Tom Jackson. And Tom Jackson has worked with superstars, mega stars. We're talking Taylor Swift, Lecrae, Bruno Mars, um, Lettucey, like all Jill Scott, all the stars. He's worked with them on their live show. That's what he does. You can look him up. And of course, he gave me some critiques, some things to keep in mind. Because I mean, as he should. I hope he has something to give me. Don't just bend my ears. But he did say, he was like, man, like I'm not even into rap. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. He's like, I'd buy that. I'd buy your album. I'd buy your songs. He's like, if I had to give it 1 out of 10, I'd give you an 11. I can't make this up. I got the video footage. Man said it, man, and it's just very humbling. Because that's God. That's anointing right there. It really is. It's anointing, and it is faith without works is dead. Because I have put in the work, and I'm never gonna stop working. Because when you encounter a representation of the gospel, it should be the ultimate creator is using me, so it should be better. Honestly,
yeah,
it should be even better than what you get on the secular side, and that's no disrespect. It just is what it is. The gospel is not meant to bend your ears. Sometimes it can be offensive, but it is what it is. It's all out of love. But, I'm just seeking to be the best representation of God I can be. And so I'm just grateful that the live music producer, the guy that's out here in the industry helping the greats work on their live shows, telling me I'm on the right path, keep doing what you're doing. So
remember that, folks. Remember that. Remember that. Lou, let me ask you one other thing. If you had to tell a young person, and maybe not necessarily, I won't say necessarily a young person, but usually it would be someone, I'll say someone who's trying to find their way. What kind of advice would you give them? I know you have talked about, working hard and having that ethic and having that integrity and all. But is there anything else that you would want them to remember or want them to think about?
yeah. I think it's critical that you don't compare yourself to others.
Mm,
In this digital age with social media, AI, you could be comparing yourself to something that's not even real, that's made with AI. And there's a lot of fear mongering going on right now. So I would say don't compare yourself, and then make sure that you balance everything. Too much of anything is not good. Too much water will drown your organs. So too much of anything is not good. Um, and so balance, don't spend too much time on social media, even if you're trying to be a content creator. Okay, if you're trying to be a content creator, then divide the time that you spend on there. Like, okay, I'm going to create content, post it, do my comments or whatever to, get the engagement up, and then get off of there. And then I might scroll for this amount of time. But don't just let yourself go on social media and just do whatever, and just make sure that you prioritize the right things and that you keep good people around you. Because if you got people around you that are fake, people around you that don't genuinely have your best interests at heart, it's just exhausting, man. There's enough going on in the world. And so, you don't have to have this big circle of people. You really just, you have a relationship with God, you got a friend stick close than a brother. Find people that emulate that for real. Okay.
mhm.
Because if they're trying to be like Christ, they're going to be a good friend. Actually trying, though, not just going to church with you and then it's God knows whatever Monday through Saturday. Y'all beating people up and just doing whatever. No, man, like, come on, man. We know them by their fruit. So people that are genuinely trying to be a good person. And they're going to help you do those other things that I mentioned. They're going to help you not compare yourself. They're going to help you balance and make sure you're not, spending too much of your time in one place and things. So
That's it. That is it. Lou, I thank you so much for being with us tonight. My system is doing some crazy things here.
No.
But I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule. I appreciate you giving us these nuggets that you have. And something's coming up in May. Tell us what you got going on in May.
So it's actually not in May.
Oh,
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah. It's all good. So let's see. I have in July, I have I'm headlining my own concert at my home church at Bethsaida Baptist July 11th in Lexington, Kentucky. I haven't even announced this yet, so I'm excited about that. So all my folks back home in Kentucky, man, make sure y'all pull up on me, man. We're gonna have a time in the Lord. And then that next the next day, that Sunday morning, July 12th, I will be bringing a word and preaching at my hometown, the church where my dad preached his trial sermon, the church I was initially baptized in, I grew up in.
awesome.
We'll be bringing the word. And so let's see. And this fall, I have some events that are in the works here in the Triangle. And so just stay tuned on that. I don't want to give you too much information, but just make sure you follow me at Lou Bennett Official, LU. Oh, you see my name right here. Okay, so yeah, LUBNNETT Official. Make sure you follow me. Stay locked in with me. Yeah, you know, God's doing something special. And so I'm just grateful to be his vessel. So I
That
appreciate
is.
the time,
That is.
Mama Hines.
He is definitely doing something special, and I am grateful. We never know whose journey we will affect as we travel this space called life. And anytime that we are, as somebody was mentioning, being intentional, anytime we are at a point where we are mature enough and in a safe spaces where we can give and share our testimony, it's a wonderful thing. I appreciate the nuggets that you dropped tonight. I don't know whether you realize how many of them you did drop tonight, but you told us some good things, some very good things, some born out of trauma, and some born out of triumph. So we thank you so much for being here. And look, everybody, Lou, I'm gonna try to take you out, okay? I may make it and I may not. But thank you for being with us. Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody.
There we go. There we go. Lewis he's a good person. He is a good person. He is doing something that is absolutely um, impactful. And like I said earlier, you want to do something, you want to support somebody, go to realbagministries.com, go to Hitmaker, and support his music and the things that he is doing for Jesus. Hallelujah. That's all we have for tonight. Again, thank you for being with me, for being here. We've always got something going on. And look, we're going to go back and continue our series and deal with the art of aging. We're coming back in next week. And I just thank you. I thank you, and I thank Lou, and for all of you who joined us tonight. Share, uh, give him feedback, support the work that he is doing, and I tell you what, it's going to be a blessing to not just you and Lou, but to many others as well. So come on back next week. I'll be right here, 7 p.m., right here on ALH Broadcasting for another programming of When Life Speaks. And be ready to receive. Come back. Get ready to turn down the volume of life for just a little bit so that when life speaks, guess what? You'll speak life. That's it, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're out.